state in Wisconsin. Trump is ahead right now with 21% of the vote is in Wisconsin. In Colorado, more than half of the vote is in. Hillary Clinton is ahead in Colorado. She has more than 88,000 vote lead over Donald Trump. 9 electoral votes in Colorado, and in Pennsylvania, a quarter of the vote is in. Hillary Clinton has a significant lead there of 276,000 plus votes over Donald Trump. 269,000 right now, 20 electoral votes in Pennsylvania. Let's take a look at the electoral college map to see the all-important electoral college map. Trump is ahead. He has 136 electoral votes compared to Hillary Clinton's 104. 270 are needed to win the White House. Let's go over to John King over the magic ball. He's taking a look. Donald Trump is doing remarkably well, John, in so many of these states that President Obama carried twice.
So we'll get to the results in a minute, but first the question people are asking, does he have a path now? What we are seeing, does he have a path? Remember, this is where we started tonight. We had Secretary Clinton at 268 to start tonight. All she needed to do was win one more state if, and it's a big if at this hour, she held on to blue. So let's just go through this where we are right now. Okay? Donald Trump, we had at 204. Well, Donald Trump is leading right now in Florida. Let's see if he can hold on to Florida. That's 29. Donald Trump is leading right now in North Carolina. Let's see if he can hold that. Look where that gets Donald Trump. Let's assume we're not out west yet. This may come down. We could put down Arizona and Nevada in this race, but let's just say Donald Trump wins Arizona, where he was leading in the late polls. That gets him to 259. Well, he's leading in Virginia right now. That would do it. Let's assume Clinton comes back in Virginia and holds that. Just for the sake of argument. Michigan would do it. Or if somehow Michigan stayed blue, Wisconsin would get it to 269. New Hampshire could do it under that scenario. So there are now several different paths as we watch this play out. What does it come down to? It comes down to counting to the final vote there. We got a ways to go here still, and it could come down. Let's switch maps and see. It could come down to a state that most Democrats and even many Republicans thought months ago was a sure bet. And if you look at this right now, we're up to 80% of the vote. She has closed the gap. In just the last few minutes, she has closed the gap to about 10,000 votes. You see it right there. So you're looking number one, if you think about it, what did I say? Michigan, Virginia, and then we'll look at Minnesota, Wisconsin, which are less likely, but they're still in play. So the question is, can Hillary Clinton come back? The answer is yes, but the clock is ticking. 95% in Loudoun County, 80% in Fairfax County. This is a big vote center. So
That's 13.5%.
Yeah, so this
population of the state.
You remember the Senate race a few years ago? Everybody was stunned that Ed Gillespie, the Republican, was so close with Senator Mark Warner, and Ed Gillespie was leading at times of the night, and then these votes came in and snapped and changed. I'm not saying that is what's going to happen tonight, but we have to wait to see what happens in the northern Virginia suburbs. Hillary Clinton now, that's going back up now to what we got there.
13,000.
We got a little over 12,000 in there. So the clock is starting to run at 80%. So Virginia's one place we'll watch. Trump wins that. Again, he's going to hold these ones. So let's just check on these as we go. Up to 79%.
He's got 100,000 votes.
You're up to 80% now. You're talking about a pretty good lead. But what's happening? So let's look. 94% there. We're still waiting for a decent amount of votes here. But it's only 3% of the state population. I want to go over to Charlotte. This could come down to how many votes are still left out here. Only have 43% here. So North Carolina's not over. But if you're Donald Trump, and you're now at just shy of 80%, and you're looking at a 2.5, 3-point lead there, you're getting increasingly confident about that. And as I said, when you check in with people down here, increasingly even Democrats believe, because of his strength in these rural areas up in the Panhandle and elsewhere, and because of his running very competitive in areas like this, and especially here, Barack Obama won, President Obama, Senator and President Obama won this when he was running his election campaigns, that is there enough down here? 95% now in Palm Beach County, so there's more votes to be gained for Secretary Clinton. Is the map enough? Let's move down here to Broward County, 75%. Again, she's likely to pick up some votes, but is it enough? Miami-Dade is almost down at 94%. So there are still some votes in these southeastern counties. Hate to say this, to say the words Florida and lawyers in the same sentence. We're going to wait for these votes to come in. We're going to see. There's a chance that some of these states are going to carry over into the morning. If you get into Are there still other absentee ballot issues out there? Before, if you're Trump and you're looking at this one is key right now. Can you hold this lead? We're going to watch that and see as we get up there. And then we'll move out here. The count's a little slower as you move toward the west. We're only up to 21% in Michigan. But again, you're starting to build a healthy lead. Some people look at that and say, wow, the other way to look at it is that what we have so far.
A lot of the Democratic areas like Detroit.
Right. Most of what we have so far is from the rural areas. So it's not surprising in the sense in which you look at where the votes are from. That doesn't surprise you. The question is what's happening in places like this. And again, this is going to come down to margins. If Donald Trump is running more competitive in these areas, 51 to 44, 54 to 46. So you have Donald Trump running closer in these outside, essentially the counties just outside of Detroit. Let's go down to Wayne County. One of the biggest concerns for the Democrats in this election cycle has been African American turnout. Wayne County, Detroit, we're only at 11%. So if Wayne County ends the night 48-45, Donald Trump is going to win this year. We're only at 11%, so we'll see how this one plays out as we go.
John, I want to go to Virginia right now. There's been a dramatic development in Virginia. Yeah, there it is. You can see Hillary Clinton has now taken a slight lead, less than 2,000 votes, 47.5% to 47.4%. You see her lead has just grown. This is Prince William County.
It's grown because the vote count, we've gone from 16 to 26% here, and we've gone up to 89% when we were just talking moments ago in Fairfax County. We said we were waiting for a lot of votes. That's why it happened. These votes have come in and go to Virginia. And again, that's why this state has done this to us in the last couple of cycles. You see the Republicans over an early lead, and then you see the Democrat bounce back when these votes come in. It doesn't mean we're done. She has a tiny
2,000 votes.
Tiny lead. So the key here is we know what's still left, right? Loudoun County is winning by a healthy margin. We still have 14% of the vote to count. Fairfax County, we're up to 89% now, but she's winning by a lopsided margin here. Let's just check Fairfax City. Up to 86%, some more votes to be counted. But you're looking at the blue is what's out, so then you say, are there Republican votes out there? So you just start to pick them. And you see 100% here, and 100% here, and 100% here. So if you're the Clinton campaign, you just let out a huge sigh of relief in one state. One state, which still has
not over with Virginia.
It's not over. It's not over yet. But if you study this state, you think this one just started to move your way. And here's one of the places we're going to keep looking. This here, the 5% of the state population. This again used to be.
Well, she's 5,000 votes ahead now. It just changed, John. So she's got a bigger lead right now. 1,559,000 to 1,553,000.
Yeah, that's it. That's here. This is what, again, we've seen many reasons lately. It's very close. Still a swing state that leans blue. That's what I was waiting for all night long. Again, we're not done. We're not done, but they feel, trust me, just for the fact that that is suddenly blue on this map, and this sea of red, makes it feel a little bit better as we count the rest of the vote. So you're looking.
Let's go to New Hampshire.
Let's go to New Hampshire right now. You got it. 34% of the vote right now. This is what happens in New Hampshire. It fills in kind of, looks almost like a checkerboard where it fills in as it goes. So let's look at the areas. Manchester City, Hillary Clinton ahead, 6 points there. Just going to go back and check this. It was 11 points. 11 points 4 years ago. This is your biggest chunk of population in the state. One of the biggest chunks right here, 8% plus. Remember, Donald Trump had a very big rally here the other night. It was supposed to be the close of his campaign. Then he decided to go on Grand Rapids, Michigan, and that event. These late campaign stops by Trump, the big criticism has been, does he have the organization? Does he have the nuts and bolts? Does he have the data operation? Does he have the infrastructure? Donald Trump is his own turnout machine to a large degree. The Republican National Committee is mad at me for just saying that. I'm not saying they don't have one, but he is the biggest engine of it. And let's see if he can keep, again, even if he doesn't win Manchester, keep it close, and you run it up in the other areas. But I want to say but about New Hampshire because we're nowhere near done here. Hudson, along the back, this is the Massachusetts border has become much more populated in recent years. People living right on the Massachusetts border. Hudson, Nashua, we have nothing. I just want to go back in time and check. These are areas where President Obama won quite handily. You move over here. This is a Republican area, but more of a swing area. Remember, Mitt Romney had a lot of connections in New Hampshire, so he ran stronger in some of these places than one would expect Donald Trump to, except Trump has a good organization there from the primaries. Only come over back in 2016. They come over to the seacoast. This is largely a Democratic area over here by the seacoast, and we have nothing yet. We have nothing yet. So I would just say take a breath on New Hampshire, except for the fact that at the moment, Donald Trump has a lead, 36% of the vote. Still plenty of time here as we go through this one in New Hampshire. But let's pull back out and look at the map.
Look at Wisconsin if we can, because they both made place where it was not supposed to be. It was not really supposed to be in play.
It was not supposed to be in play, except the Trump campaign told us they could make a run at this thing. A lot of people didn't believe them. They had to
just tell our viewers. A quarter of the vote is at 26%, and Trump is ahead 50% to 44%. He's got more than 40,000 vote lead.
And again, so you're looking at a lot of these small rural areas. You're going to see this in so many states tonight. They're filling in red. The question is, where are we percentage-wise? In Madison, Dane County, this is the University of Wisconsin. This is a big Democratic area, only at 23%. This is key as we go forward. You see the lopsided map here at 23%. As we get 50, 75, 100, Hillary Clinton is just going to make up Donald Trump's lead at the moment in Wisconsin. She needs to do it here. Let me pull out again. Let's come around here. Let's go over to Milwaukee. see what we have here. 45%. She's running up a lead pretty big. I just went to 66 to 28. Let's go back in time and go to 68 to 32. So it's comparable. It's comparable. We're at 45% there. The question is, we'll check the map. I'll go and check the map next time I get a chance versus 2012 turnout to see how that's going there. The percentages are about right. The question is, if you're getting the turnout you need, we got a big block up here. We have absolutely nothing. We go back and look. This was around the area up here, 53, 46, about 2.5% of the state population. So we have a ways to go here as you start to watch. Let's just go back in time and look for your big areas of blue. You see them all down in here, right? And so you come back up here, we got nothing. So if there's room here, if it comes in as it did in 2012, there's room here for Hillary Clinton to make it up. But again, if you're in the Trump campaign and you're looking at a 5+ point lead in the state of Wisconsin and you're at 27% of the vote, you start to think that late strategy pulled off. And let's just see through the neighborhood. Come over here and see where we are in Michigan. 23%. The idea for comparison is to look where the red is, go back in time. All this in here is traditionally blue. So you've got some red down here that's traditionally blue. We're at 47%. Place like that, not huge population centers, but it matters if you're in a very close race. If you turn some of these small areas, that's how you make the difference. I just want to come back over here again and look. Oakland County.
By the way, we're getting close to the top of the hour. We might be able to make some more projections. Go ahead.
Great. Well, Macomb County again. This is one of my bellwether counties to look at. It's part of the auto industry. It's General Dynamics. This is where Michael Dukakis took the ride in the tank. It's where Ronald Reagan created the so-called legendary Reagan Democrats. If Donald Trump wins Macomb County, that's puts him in good standing to be competitive throughout the state of Virginia. And it's told to go out and check in on Colorado. 53% of the vote. Colorado vote by mail. They count the vote, and it's competitive out here as well. Again, she's ahead, no short of 5 points, or she's above 5 points, excuse me. But Colorado, 53% of the vote, Clinton leading there. This race in Colorado will be decided here, Arapahoe County here in the Denver suburbs. Come over this way. Jefferson County, the Denver suburbs. Just want to go back and check the historical comparison. 51, 50. So it's running about right there. 53 over here. Running a little behind, but this will be decided in the Denver suburbs. Again, we're talking about this potentially as the year of the Latino. They are key in these counties here. Just want to be Denver proper. You see she's running it up in Denver. So of all that, there's a lot of angst in the campaign headquarters. Colorado, one of the states at the moment where it looks like it's filling in the way the Democrats expected it to, but across the Rust Belt, a lot of anxiety.
We're only seconds away from the top of the hour. 4 states are closing. Right now, we're going to be able to make a projection. And CNN projects Donald Trump will carry the state of Montana and its 3 electoral votes. Another important win for Donald Trump in Montana. He gets those 3 electoral votes. Every electoral vote will count tonight. Let's get a key race alert right now. Too close to call in several states where the polls have now closed. In Iowa, with its 6 electoral votes, too early to call, no projection there. In Nevada, 6 electoral votes, too early to call, no projection there. Similarly in Utah, too early to call there, 6 electoral votes. Evan McCullough, the Utah native, a third party, a candidate, conservative, he's making a push in Utah right now. Too early to call there. Let's update the all-important electoral college map. Where it stands right now, you can see Donald Trump maintains his lead. He has 139 electoral votes compared to Hillary Clinton's 104 electoral votes, 270 needed to be elected president of the United States. Let's get another key race alert right now. All right, here's where the votes stand. Let's start with Florida. 95% of the vote is in. Donald Trump still maintains an impressive 105,000 vote lead over Hillary Clinton. 5% of the vote, outstanding 29 electoral votes. Trump ahead in Florida. In North Carolina, 81% of the vote is in. Trump maintains an impressive 114,000 vote lead over Hillary Clinton. 15 electoral votes. Trump ahead in North Carolina. In Ohio, 67% of the vote is in. Donald Trump is a very impressive, almost 400,000 vote lead over Hillary Clinton. 18 electoral votes at stake in Ohio. In Virginia, 83% of the vote is in. Hillary Clinton all of a sudden has taken a lead, 15,456 vote lead over Donald Trump. 83% of the vote is in. 13 electoral votes In Virginia, Hillary Clinton ahead there. Let's go to Georgia right now. In the state of Georgia, almost half of the vote is in Donald Trump. Here too, he has a very impressive lead, 365,000 vote lead over Hillary Clinton. 16 important electoral votes at stake in Georgia right now. In Colorado, 53, more than half of the vote is in. Hillary Clinton has a lead of about 73,000 votes over Donald Trump. 9 electoral votes in the state of Colorado. In Michigan, a quarter of the vote is in. Trump is ahead there, still maintaining a lead of almost 50,000 votes over Hillary Clinton right now. 24% of the vote is in. 16 electoral votes in the state in Michigan and New Hampshire. 41% of the vote is in. Trump is ahead there as well. 5,297 vote lead over Hillary Clinton. 4 electoral votes. Everyone is critically important in New Hampshire. Trump is ahead in New Hampshire right now. More votes coming in. Let's take a look at Wisconsin. 28% of the vote is in. Trump is ahead in Wisconsin right now by more than 50,000 votes. 10 electoral votes at stake in Wisconsin. In Pennsylvania, a third of the vote is in. Hillary Clinton has an impressive lead. 250,000 vote lead over Donald Trump. 20 electoral votes in Pennsylvania. Votes just beginning to come in Arizona. Only 2% of the vote is in. Donald Trump has a lead of 6,600 votes over Hillary Clinton. 11 electoral votes in Arizona. Let's take a look and see nationwide where the popular vote stands right now. U.S. popular vote. Donald Trump has 48.9%. Hillary Clinton has 47%. He is ahead nationally by 1,153,000 votes nationwide. That's the popular vote, and he's ahead by more than 1,100,000 over Hillary Clinton. In the all-important electoral vote count, Donald Trump, once again, he's ahead there with 139 electoral votes to Hillary Clinton's 104 electoral votes, 270. And I'll remind you, that's the magic number needed to win the White House. Let's go back over to Jake. Jake, I know you've checked the markets right now. How are they reacting? Well, all of these, so far, pretty good news for Donald Trump.
It's great news for Donald Trump so far, and it's an unpredictable race. We're talking about this, how much this really upends so much of the prediction industry. But the one thing that the markets don't like is uncertainty, and right now we've been told that U.S. stock futures are down nearly 500 points. That's 2.7%. Wall Street has consistently during this election season, whenever Trump took the lead or seemed to be doing well, investors have been worried about his unpredictability, his tough talk on global trade deals. The market jitters most obvious in the currency markets, with the Mexican peso plunging 7% against the U.S. dollar. Obviously, Mr. Trump has talked about negotiating tough trade deals with Mexico, talking about scrapping NAFTA, the free trade agreement. Gold, which tends to rise when investors are nervous, is up 3% and is up more than $1,300 an ounce. So right now, with all this news that seems to be excellent for Donald Trump, Wall Street and the markets are very, very jittery.
A lot of jittery people out there right now.
You know, I'm guessing that the people in Brooklyn, I can see their fingers probably. Fingers probably bleeding because there's no more nail to bite. I'm guessing that that's probably what's happening. And I think it's really, really important to point to the state of Virginia, because these other battleground states where the candidates, both of them, traveled heavily, okay, you know, we expected those to be close. But the story of Virginia tonight, even though she has pulled ahead here, in the polling, and frankly, in some of the modeling, she was ahead by many, significantly. And the fact that he is doing so well there tells you about the fervor out there. Whether it is for him, against her, or just against Washington, to me that is a story that is really encapsulated in the Commonwealth.
And let me just say again, we are still waiting for the results from these 4 firewall states. But I don't know what we're going to. I mean, Hillary Clinton needs to hold on to these 4. We still don't know what's going to happen in Michigan, Pennsylvania, Virginia, or New Hampshire. But Donald Trump is competitive in all 4, and it is entirely possible that there is a wave out there that the pollsters and the predictors and all the vote modelers did not see coming at all.
The one thing that I would say about the modelers is that I was talking to somebody who said that with regard to the modeling that both parties do, both campaigns did, that they had it, there was sort of a 2% margin of error, for lack of a better way to say it. Having said that, you know, there is something that is out there that is hard to get with data. And it's just clear that that's true.
There's a early exit polls showing there were a lot of angry voters out there in the United States. John, let's take a look at North Carolina right now, because that's really emerging as a critically important state. 82% of the vote in North Carolina is in. Donald Trump still maintains the lead, one of about 120,000 votes.
So you start to get to that point, 120,000 votes, you're thinking, is it possible? Is it at all possible to make that up? So you start looking at the blue population centers. You look out here, they're at 100%, so there's nothing more to be gained for Secretary Clinton there. This is the biggest one here. You come into Mecklenburg County. Still some votes to be gained here. Is it possible? Yeah, sure. There's an map here. It's possible to be done, but that's assuming that she runs it up, the margin she is there. It also assumes that Donald Trump's not adding. Let's come over here. We're up to 99% in Wade County. Hillary Clinton's winning this county just what they target. They wanted to win this big, 15 points or more. Very successful here. And yet, they're getting swamped with turnout elsewhere, is what's making this so rich. They did exactly what they wanted to do here, 77%. The question is the numbers. We're going to match the numbers up to past campaigns and see if they're getting the percentages right. The question is if they get up the turnout. Can she come back here at 17%? You look around. Let's go back in time. Let's look at some of these rural counties up top here. There's some small counties up here. You're looking, again, let's go back to the race before. We go back here. Let's go back to 16 to see if we have anything here. 80%. So even if you keep going there, you're talking about a couple hundred votes at best. You know, up here. So you look at this big population center. Again, this is where the votes are. In these areas around here, in the Raleigh-Durham Research Triangle, the areas around it, 80%. So there are some votes to be counted here, but if you look, come back and collect that statewide lead at 82%, that's a tough margin to make up. Doesn't make it impossible. If she's going to make it up, a lot of it's going to have to come from right here in Charlotte and in the suburbs. Again, if you do that math, you're at 43%. If she doubles that, there's 100,000 votes there. If you double it, so it's there. And the question is, you start checking these Republican counties. There's a couple hundred votes here for Donald Trump to make up, maybe 1,000. There's still some votes here for Donald Trump to make up here. And so we got a ways to go before we can get into the exact nature of it. But if you're Trump campaign headquarters right now, you think it might get closer because your votes are in here, your votes are in here. And that's what happens in the war when they start calling around all these counties, who's left out, what's left out. Here, they're looking at it, they're asking here, are they close to Charlotte, or are they more up here where the Republicans run a little better? That's what they do in the war rooms right now. And this is
Let's take a look at two states, Michigan and Wisconsin. These are states that Hillary Clinton obviously has to win. Michigan first. Donald Trump is ahead right now in both of those states.
And as you look at the map before I go to the numbers, these are the two states, if the map stays like we see it right now, if Donald Trump holds on Florida, if Donald Trump holds on to North Carolina, then these are the states that will decide the next president of the United States. That's a big if. That's a big if. But let's just go through. 26% of the vote right now, and you're just looking here again. We're up here on the peninsula. We're down through here. Donald Trump is winning.
Lead of about 60,000.
He's winning areas where the Republicans and conservative needs to win, and he's winning them. Just want to go back again. These are tiny places, so you think that's not a big deal. It does matter in a close race. 59%, 70%. So in these small rural counties, Donald Trump is running up numbers, and you think, oh, it's 200 votes, oh, it's 300 votes. Well, guess what? It's 200, 300, 1,000, 800. You start racking that up. That's what you need to offset the Democratic leads down in these places. 63% of the vote in Oakland County, so more votes for Democrat, much more population, as you see. But let's go back in time and take a look. 51, 54. So she's underperforming President Obama a little bit here in the Detroit suburbs. Just want to come back to Wayne County. She's stretched out a little bit. The last time it was 2 or 4 points. She's now in a 10-point lead range there. This is the key. This is the key, and this is why, again, Trump headquarters, they're looking at Michigan. They're thinking 16. That's a magical number to add to Trump's math if they get those 16 electoral votes. But let's take some time. Let's wait. Wayne County is notoriously slow in reporting its votes. We've been up. We'll be here for a while. Let's just put it that way. We're at 27% statewide. But she needs a big number out of Wayne County to make that up. Mathematically possible? Absolutely. Again, in the Clinton War Room, trust me, they are frantically calling not only to Wayne County, but they're calling it down here too, as you get in 66, only at 5%. Again, smaller county, less population, but if the margin stays like that, and it's early, so you're not sure the margin's going to hold like that, but if it stays like that, the math is still possible. In a very tense Clinton War Room right now, they're looking at Michigan, and they're saying the math is possible. So let's go next door. We're at 33%. Wisconsin. This one's getting interesting in the sense that this is a Republican area, usually up here. So let's come over to Eau Claire.
He's 51,000 votes ahead in Wisconsin right now. A state that usually goes Democratic.
And so here's a big area where President Obama ran it up 56-43, and we have absolutely nothing. So you start to look again, are there votes out here for Hillary Clinton to make this up? Janesville, which is home to the House Speaker, is at the moment Paul Ryan, 51-42 or 52-43 if you want to round those up. Again, you go back in time, that's a problem. That's a problem. When you're in a state like this and you're underperforming, where the last Democrat who won it, that's an issue. So if you're underperforming here, the question is, are you overperforming anywhere else? Because Trump tends to be running well where he needs to do it, and very well in other places. Let's just look at a place like Los Angeles, 3% of the state population, Winnebago County, 51-42. He flipped this county at the moment. And that's what you're looking for. You're looking for a big population center that has flipped. And so let's go, you go back here, you look here, 66% of the vote as well. So this 3% of the state population, you say no big deal. Guess what? In a battleground state, you flip a county like that, you're doing some math. And you start to do math like that, that's what puts you ahead. And so we're going to watch the vote centers. Here, the Democrats now, you're looking at Dane County, which is 9% of the state population. You've got a third of the vote counted. You better hope.
Yeah, almost 9% of the population of the state.
Yeah, so you have to hope that you've got more of that coming. And if that margin stays like that, and you get more heavy voters to come through, again, you start looking through, this is it here. This is it. But again, running up the percentages, we're only at 45%. Still a lot of votes left to be counted here. You presume most of them are going to go to Hillary Clinton. Just clicked up to 82%. So let's see what that did. We just jumped from 82% in Milwaukee County. So now we pull back out. It got her closer. It got her closer. She's now 48-47. So those votes come in. You see what happens. Big votes come in the Democratic area. It brings the votes up here. Let's just check back at Dane County, still at 32%. So as you watch these counties start making big jumps, it is possible. It is possible to come back. And I can tell you right now, the Clinton world and the Trump world, this is where the urgent phone calls are going. Into Michigan, into Wisconsin. Because at the moment, again, let's just check one more second right here. North Carolina is holding. Florida is holding. Looks like Virginia is trending Clinton's way. Well, we're going to look across the Rust Belt here. Michigan, Wisconsin. It's a vote count.
John, stand by. We have two more projections right now. CNN now projects that Hillary Clinton will win the state of New Mexico with its 5 electoral votes. Hillary Clinton wins New Mexico. CNN also now projects that Donald Trump will win Missouri with its 10 electoral votes. Another important win for Donald Trump in Missouri. Let's take a look at the Electoral College map right now, where it stands, the all-important map, I should say. Donald Trump is still ahead. He has 149 electoral votes to Hillary Clinton's 109 electoral votes. 270 needed to win the White House. In blue states, Hillary Clinton states, the red states, Donald Trump states, all those yellow states. Too early to call. We have not been able to make a projection in those yellow states. Let's go back to John over at the Magic Wall. John, you're looking at the national vote right now, and Donald Trump is ahead by 2 points.
Look at the national vote. We've still got some ways to go, and we're still early in the count in a lot of these states out here. So I just want to go back to this again for people at home who are thinking, is this possible? Is this possible? This is where we have it right now. Actually, we're in a couple of states that did that. This is the, as we count now. I want to just go back to where we had this coming.
Let's go to New Mexico and Missouri first.
You bet. Let's switch. We'll get there.
Just highlight this.
Okay. So let's come out to New Mexico. Let's take a peek. Hillary Clinton running up 50 to 40 essentially at the moment. These are major population centers. You're going to come here first. Santa Fe County, back here, Albuquerque.
Not a surprise that she took New Mexico.
No, it's become, it used to be a swing state. George W. Bush wanted his election, but it's become very much a blue state. But so let's go back and look here. This is where we started the night right now here. And so what are we looking at, right? Clinton was at 268. We thought she just wins one state like Nevada. We'll get there. The Democrats think they're going to win Nevada. Most Republicans think they'll win Nevada. We'll see what happens. But the early prognosis on the night was she wins that, holds everything out here, and she could afford to lose Florida. She could afford to lose North Carolina. But we're in a very different conversation right now. Even if we give her Nevada, Trump is favored here. It's 11. It's 29. That's 15. Now we're in the ballpark. Now we're thinking, let's even leave New Hampshire out of it for a minute. New Hampshire's still in play. We're counting the votes there. But at 259, even if she wins Virginia, Michigan puts Donald Trump over the top. Let's say she comes back and holds on, and Wayne County vote comes in. Wisconsin would put him at 269. Then you've got a congressional district in Maine for, say, New Hampshire. to put Donald Trump over the top. So we are having a conversation now that it was impossible to have 2 weeks ago. It was just improbable. We're not having a reality-based conversation trying to do this now a couple of weeks ago. The polling told you that was a fool's errand. It is not a fool's errand tonight if you watch these results. Does that mean this is going to happen? No, we don't know that. We're going to be counting votes for a long time. But it is now conceivable. And one other thing to watch, if Democrats think that one's gone, we haven't counted any votes out here yet. There was a late push by Democrats. Is there anything we can do to turn that one around?
Take a look at Iowa. We're beginning to get some votes in from Iowa right now.
Some Democrats are thinking at the end, do we need to suddenly go back and try to turn something around? Are we going to be in a problem? And it's blue at the moment, but we're only at 13% of the vote. The votes that are in Iowa City and Des Moines, those are big Democratic areas. So she's up 59, 60 to 35, up to 13% right now. But when I was showing you Michigan, I was saying take a deep breath because all the votes were coming in from conservative areas. Well, in Iowa, there's no reason for Republicans who think they're going to win the state to panic or Democrats to celebrate because we are very early on. The early votes we're getting, Polk County, which is home to Des Moines, a big Democratic area, Iowa City, College Town out here. She's running it up into College Town, but only at 2%. So this, again, in electoral college chess, you focus on the big ones. Florida's 29, North Carolina's 15, Michigan's 16, Pennsylvania's 20. Every now and then, the little guys come into play. And we may be counting the votes in Iowa, and we may be watching the votes in New Hampshire deep into the night because we have a different race tonight than we thought we had even just days ago.
All right, let's go to the big key battleground states. Let's start in Florida.
Let's come on down here. We're up to 95%. And it's close, but you get to the point where we have 140, a little shy of that, 130 something.
Donald Trump's ahead by about 140,000 votes.
So you come down there and you think, are they there? Well, Palm Beach County is up to 97%. So there are more votes here. There aren't that many more votes here, but
almost done.
Could be some. You're almost done. If it's, whatever it is, you're adding up 10 to 20. 98% now in Broward County, which essentially tells you the Clinton campaign war room, there's not much here. You might get some, and again, the size of this gap, if the 2% comes in, it's a decent chunk of votes in a major population center, but it's not enough. So you need a little, somewhere you need a lot. And we're up to 99% here. So there are no more big, giant, empty baskets.
Almost all of those 3 counties, heavily Democratic, they are almost all in.
They're almost all in. And so now you're going through, again, now you're calling, I hate to say this, but now is when you're calling in, is there anything outstanding? This is at 100%. You come in there. Let's come up here, other places, tiny, much more small counties, but they're at 100%. So the issue now, the Clinton campaign headquarters when it comes to Florida, number one, what's left is any of these small counties, and if the map leads this way, is there anything, you're nowhere near automatic recount.
Let's go back to Michigan and Wisconsin, see what's happening right now. First of all, in Michigan.
49, 48, 50, you want to round that up to 45, 50 to 45 if you round that up. Again, so you're looking, just go back in time. There's not much of a surprise up here. Marquette, we'll see where the vote comes in. Let's go back and check. Let's see where we are right now. 50 to 43, 56. You're seeing, just as I was showing you in Wisconsin, you find every now and then you find that one big county, moderate-sized county. It's not huge, but in a close race, you flip a county like that for past races, you're talking about a chunk of votes that matter. Now let's come down here. This race is going to be decided down here. Oakland County, she's leading, but again, if the final third comes in, at that, you're going to make up some votes, but not a lot. And this is what we're waiting for. We're only at 16% in Wayne County, and this has to be not only the margin. If it's this close, 51 to 43, let's just go back in time and look at that. There's no way. There's just, if that stays that close, we're waiting for inner city Detroit. If inner city Detroit comes in and goes that way, but if you look at this 73 to 26, if Donald Trump at the end of the night is getting over 40% of the vote in Wayne County, well then. That's a tough one. Yeah, those are the state of Michigan. So we got to wait. We're only at 16%. Those votes could be coming from out here, down here, or Republican areas. But this is a question of one, she better turn that percentage around big time if she wants to win Michigan. Number two, where are the votes? But that's not a lot of votes. That's not a lot of votes right now. We're only at 16%. But that's a warning sign. I just want to just show you that again because it's a stunner if you look at it. 51% Hillary Clinton in Wayne County. Tells you everything you need to know about Michigan at the moment. Emphasis on
Donald Trump always said he would get those so-called Reagan Democrats, that working-class blue-collar voter.
Right, and so this is fascinating, and I love we'll pour through the Michigan exit polls as we do once that gets higher. Again, you're looking at that right now. If you're at the Clinton campaign headquarters, you are calling your people out here, and you're asking what went on. And to be clear, I know Dana was sharing some of this reporting the other day as well. Democrats out here have been calling the Clinton campaign for months, not just weeks, but for months, saying you need to tend to the garden. You think you have this one for granted. You're just taking this for granted, thinking you're going to win it. You better get out here. And the Clinton campaign late did get out there, but there's one of the. If this keeps going this way, one of the criticisms after will be that they took the so-called blue wall, which is these states they've won since 1992, 240, last 6 presidential elections, 242 electoral votes. They include Wisconsin, they include Michigan, they include Pennsylvania, which looks good for Clinton at the moment. If these stay like this, she's going to have a
anti-trade message, like Bernie Sanders' anti-trade message seems to have resonated in Michigan. Let's go to Wisconsin.
Make a key point. Before I do that, I just want to do one thing. Could you just make a key point? I know the experts on the other side of the room, and they're right. Primary wounds very rarely carry over to the general election. So you can lose a state in the primary war. Hillary Clinton won a lot of southern states in the primaries, and she's not winning tonight. But Democratic primary, these are Bernie Sanders states, both of them. And so as we go through this tonight, to your point, they did that because of your point about the trade.
Yeah, sorry.
You want to go Wisconsin?
Stand by. Let's do Wisconsin in a moment. Got to take a quick break. This presidential race turning out to be a real nail-biter. We're following close contests in multiple battlegrounds right now in Michigan and Wisconsin. 2 states surprisingly very much in play right now. More results right after this quick break.
It's been a journey to get where I am. And I didn't get here alone. There were people who listened along the way. People who gave me options, kept me on track. And through it all, my retirement never got left behind. So today, I'm prepared for anything we may want tomorrow to be.
Every someday needs a plan. Let's talk about your old 401k today.
Well-being is about foresight, but anticipating your opponent's moves and devising countermeasures.
How did she manage that?
Our system is wrong, and I will fight to change it.
You can't possibly win this!
Sergeant in position.
I use whatever resource I have across the line.
You know the word annihilate is reduced to nothing.
I'm making sure you surprise them, and they don't surprise you.
Slow and rated R.
So nice of you.
Good Behavior premieres next Tuesday at 9 on TNT.
If you have people who depend on you need life insurance. Plain and simple. That's why Haven Life offers ample, affordable, plain language term life insurance that can be purchased entirely online in minutes. All you have to need for a medical exam and qualify for healthy applicants. See how easy life insurance can be. Apply now and get an instant decision at havenlife.com.
What if there was a way to prevent break-ins before they occur? Home burglaries start with a ring of the doorbell. I invented rings you can see and speak to whoever's at your home from your smartphone. Can I help you? With Ring, you're always home, which is why we've earned over 3,000 5-star Amazon reviews. Like Nick, who writes, Ring is awesome. Easy to set up, easy to use. Available at ring.com.
Anthony Bourdain, Parts Unknown. New episodes Sundays at 9 on CNN.
We have a major projection right now. Donald Trump will take Ohio. CNN projects Donald Trump will win Ohio with its 18 electoral votes. A relief for Donald Trump. No Republican has ever won the White House without Ohio. He has won Ohio with its 18 electoral votes. Let's take a look at the Electoral College map to see where it stands now. Big win for Donald Trump in the state of Ohio. Right now, he is ahead of Hillary Clinton. He has 167 electoral votes compared to Hillary Clinton's 109 electoral votes. You need 270 to win the White House. Donald Trump is ahead of Hillary Clinton right now. Jake and Dana. Jake, this is a big win. He needed Ohio. He got Ohio.
Iowa and Ohio always looked like the first states of the Obama states that Donald Trump would be able to pick off. But I didn't know, based on polling and based on how Democrats talked about Ohio, how Hillary Clinton campaigned there. Remember, it was just a few nights ago she was there with Beyonce and Jay-Z campaigning. I didn't know it was going to be so early that we're going to be able to call
for Donald Trump. I always thought it was going to fall into his side of the aisle. It is remarkable what we're seeing here, not just Ohio, but all over the country. In Philadelphia, I was just looking, the returns coming in. Hillary Clinton with 81% of the vote in Philadelphia as of right now. That is not really all that good for Philadelphia. She should be doing much, much better in the city of Philadelphia. The margins where she really needs to be driving up the vote for a very strong Democratic performance in those counties, she's not getting that.
Dan, a lot of stud Democrats out there right now.
That's right, and let's just focus on Ohio for a second, what you just projected for Donald Trump as a bellwether. We've all talked about the fact that no Republican has won the White House without winning Ohio, but given where we are tonight, and another interesting statistic is that no Republican has ever won Ohio without winning the White House since Richard Nixon in 1960. So there is a very long history of Ohio predicting the president, no matter where which party he is in. The other point I think is important to make is that Donald Trump, we're projecting to win Ohio, no thanks to the sitting Republican governor in Ohio, John Kasich, Donald Trump's former rival for the presidential nomination. John Kasich made it very, very clear, very loudly, that he did not think Trump was the right person for the party, the right person to lead the country, sat out of the convention even though it was in his home state.
And we should also note, Donald Trump, obviously, all the victories that Donald Trump has this evening, Donald Trump gets credit for, but we should also note that when there's all this talk about how Hillary Clinton had a ground game and Donald Trump did not, the Republican National Committee has had boots on the ground for years now, and they have had a great ground game. And Donald Trump has been using that. So it's not as though, it's not as though all these victories that we're seeing came just because we got a lot of help from the RNC.
All right, we've got another key race alert right now. Well, let's update all the votes where they stand right now. We'll start in Michigan. Almost a third of the vote is in Michigan. Donald Trump has a 35,000 plus vote lead over Hillary Clinton. 16% of the vote is now in the state of Michigan. Donald Trump ahead there. In Wisconsin, 42% of the vote is in. He's ahead narrowly, 28,000 votes over Hillary Clinton. 10 electoral votes at stake in Wisconsin. In Florida, 95% of the vote is in. Donald Trump has an impressive lead. In Florida, 135,000 plus vote lead over Hillary Clinton. 29 electoral votes are at stake in Florida. In Arizona, more than half of the vote is in. Trump has a lead, more than 33,000 vote lead over Hillary Clinton. 11 electoral votes at stake in the state of Arizona. Let's continue. Let's go to North Carolina. Right now, Donald Trump, he has an impressive lead there with 84% of the vote in more than 143,000, almost 144,000 vote lead over Hillary Clinton. 15 electoral votes in North Carolina. Almost half of the vote is in Georgia. Very impressive lead for Donald Trump. 347,000 vote lead over Hillary Clinton. He's doing well, very well in Georgia with 16 electoral votes. In New Hampshire, almost half of the vote is in. Trump is ahead there as well. More than 10,000 vote lead over Hillary Clinton. 4 electoral votes in New Hampshire. Every electoral vote is critically important. In Virginia, 87% of the vote is in. Hillary Clinton has a lead, 55,000 plus vote lead over Donald Trump. She's certainly relieved at this stage. 87% of the vote is in Virginia. 13 electoral votes at stake there. We've got some more results coming in from Colorado. First, 65% of the vote is in. Hillary Clinton has a 92,000 vote lead over Donald Trump in Colorado with his 9 electoral votes. In Iowa, 19% of the vote is now in. Hillary Clinton has a pretty good lead, 54,000 plus vote lead over Donald Trump in Iowa. And in Pennsylvania, more than half of the vote is in. She's got an impressive lead there of more than 167,000 votes in Pennsylvania. So she's doing well, relatively speaking, in Pennsylvania, Iowa, and Colorado. Let's take a look at the Electoral College map to see where things stand. Donald Trump is ahead. He right now, being projected, he has 167 electoral votes compared to Hillary Clinton's 109 electoral votes. 270 needed to win the White House. Trump ahead right now. Let's go to John King. You're studying a lot of these battleground states so closely. Let's start in Wisconsin.
Start in Wisconsin right now. It's gotten a little tighter, but 48, 46, round out to 49 if you want. So you're looking, and you're counting the math here. Number one, just in a few places you're looking, come down to Milwaukee, this is a danger sign for the Clinton campaign in the sense that 17% of the state population, the Democratic base center, and they're up to 82% of the vote. So more votes to be counted. Most of them are see 65-30. Most of them, we presume, will go to Secretary Clinton. It is the big population center, but you're getting close. You're getting close to the end there. So you start to look out here.
Come on! Come on!
Only 1% of the vote. This is critical. Tiny, 1.7% of the population. But you're starting to go back to looking for rare places. President Obama ran out healthy margins where you know there are Democratic votes. Doesn't mean she gets them, but they exist. The question is, does she? We're waiting for the votes to be counted here as you start to go through. Otherwise, you look at this. I just want you to just look at this map for a minute. This is where we are now. Focus on where the red is. When we go back 4 years, you see a lot. See this blue? President Obama winning in this part of the state right here. Then you come back in here. See all this red? So you're looking at places like, you know, you start Winnebago County, 50% for Donald Trump.
Come on, Ohio. I mean,
counties, but go through them. These were blue 4 years ago, and now you're looking at them at the moment. We're still counting votes. So a lot of these counties.
Come on.
Votes there. That doesn't mean that those numbers don't mean much. But if you're watching flipping counties within states, you look at that. All that blue down here. All that blue down here 4 years ago. A lot of red at the moment. And so 42% statewide counted. We got a ways to go. It's more than competitive, especially at only 42% of the vote. But this is a
He's got a 30,000 vote lead, right?
This is a tough battle again. And this is. Anyone say a month ago we were going to be counting the votes in Wisconsin late into the night? Number one. And again, the criticism is going to be here that even if she pulls some of these states out, the criticism is going to be that you ignored your friends. These are friendly Democratic states that have been Democratic for quite a long time, and look how close they are tonight. That's not to take anything away from Donald Trump. Donald Trump went into these states, he campaigned in these states, he's selling his economic message in these states, he's selling change in these states. But these are not states where the Clinton campaign was repeatedly visiting in the parts of the campaign where they could have and should have. So you're looking at 51-43 right now in Oakland County. Just trying to see what's left out there as I go through some of these states. Just trying to do the math. Is it possible? We were down here earlier, and it was much closer. A bunch of votes came in Wayne County. That's what made Michigan.
Wayne County.
And Michigan's a little tighter because of that. Because this went back to a more traditional Wayne County. But still, when you go back in time, Donald Trump was just shy of 34% there. But Romney got 26%. So again, let's see where we get. We're only at 34%, and if it's changed, let's see how we get as it comes in. Wayne County, again, notoriously late for coming in later. I'm not criticizing Wayne County, it's just later as they come into the state. But you're looking at this, Donald Trump is doing what he has to do. Again, compared to 4 years ago, see all that red up here in the Upper Peninsula, up here in the northern part, or what they call the mitten, if you will. So you put back the hand up there. See, running it up. Still places up here where President Obama did well, that at the moment Donald Trump is leading, and that can make the difference. Again, it's a tiny little county, but that 1,000 votes can make the difference in a close state when you get down to a battleground like this.
Let's just show you how many vote counts. Let's go to Colorado right now.
Colorado is close.
65% of the vote is in. Hillary Clinton is ahead by about 89,000 votes.
About 89,000 votes. So you're looking at what are we missing. And so again, most of this state is won here, unless this is very close, then the smaller counties fill it in. So let's just check around here. Adams County, 9% of the state population. These Denver suburbs are critically important to how this state has shifted from reliably Republican to swing state to what many Democrats had hoped would be leaning blue. 50% of the vote there. Just want to go back and check. 57% for President Obama. This is a pattern we're seeing now in a lot of places where Donald Trump is running more competitive. You move down here to Arapahoe County. Vibrant Tea Party here. It's a Democratic county, but there is a vibrant Tea Party as well. It's a Tug of War County, it's swing county. Hillary Clinton at 53%. That's more in line with the Obama performance. I just want to look for one here. She's doing fine in Denver City. Check the map, the numbers of the turnout. Jefferson County, this is one of your classic swing counties in the United States. She's running at 50% there, 51%. So this one, Colorado, is filling in a way that, well, I'm not saying we haven't called this state yet, we've got a lot of votes to count, but this one is filling in a way, Colorado, you look at the 5-point margin there, right?
She's built up a lead to about 91,000 votes. Let's go to Iowa.
I just wanted to check, that's a 5-point state, and that one's filling in, got a ways to go. It looks like it's filling in the way the Democrats expected it to. Iowa, we have Clinton ahead early, but I just want to be very cautious here. Number one, I don't know a lot of Democrats in Iowa who are confident they're going to pull Iowa out. Doesn't mean they won't. She has this lead here now up to 21%. But remember, a lot of what you see empty here, especially out in the western part of the state, it's going to fill in red. The question is, as we just went through to the east in Wisconsin and Michigan, these are blue for President Obama. When we get there later tonight. Let's see what they are, because that could be the difference if this stays close. But right now, the votes that we do have are in Democratic population centers. So she's running it up big in the Iowa City area. She's running it up big in Cedar Rapids. And that's only 1% of the vote. And we have Polk County as your biggest center here where Des Moines is. She's running it up big. So if you're the Democrats and you're looking at the map, you like what you see right now, vote at 21%. We'll see.
She's up by more than 50,000 votes. Right
This could be when you pull out and look at this. If you're looking at this, number one, if Donald Trump holds this and this, she can't afford to lose both of those. If she gets one of those back, then we could be in a game of chess. What's her path to 270? Well, her path to 270 was this. Let me switch maps here for you. This is where we started the night, but these were all lean. These were all lean Democratic. At the moment, Pennsylvania looks solid. We're still counting the votes.
Change the states to reflect where the vote is now.
But right now, Donald Trump leads here. Donald Trump leads here. We're not ready to, this one's still early, but Donald Trump leads, so let's just put it in the current state of play, okay? Donald Trump leads here. Oops, sorry. And Donald Trump leads here. So we were talking all in the last couple of weeks that Donald Trump had such a narrow path by drawing to an inside straight flush.
Take away Iowa.
Tables have flipped.
Take away Iowa right now, slightly ahead. And Arizona, give them Arizona.
We'll make it a toss-up. If you give Trump this one, I think most people would expect she'll get this one based on early voting. But even then, we took Iowa away. If Donald Trump holds these, and this gives her Virginia, this scenario gives her Virginia, which we're not done yet, but she has pulled ahead there in Virginia. But if Donald Trump holds Florida, where he leads, holds North Carolina, where he leads, we've called Ohio. And so this comes down, again, the Trump campaign said from day one, we are going to prove you all wrong. We're going to win with a Rust Belt strategy. Early on, their anchor was Pennsylvania. That's the irony of this, in the sense that Pennsylvania at the moment, again, we haven't called it yet, but Pennsylvania at the moment, Clinton has the healthy lead. Michigan and Wisconsin are the flashing red alerts to Clinton over right now.
John, we have another major projection right now. And CNN can project that Virginia, the Commonwealth of Virginia, will go to Hillary Clinton, 13 electoral votes in Virginia. An important win for Hillary Clinton in the state of Virginia, a state that President Barack Obama carried twice. She is ahead in Virginia. She will carry Virginia. Let's take a look at where the Electoral College map stands right now with her win in Virginia. Donald Trump is still ahead. He has 167 electoral votes compared to Hillary Clinton's 122 electoral votes, 270 needed to win the White House. You see the red states, the states that have gone for Donald Trump, the blue states that have gone for Hillary Clinton, the yellow states, no projection, too early to call. And we have another key race alert right now. As John King said, it comes down to Michigan and Wisconsin. Let's take a look at Michigan first. 37% of the vote is in. Donald Trump still maintains a lead of almost 74,000 votes over Hillary Clinton, 49.5% to 45.5%, 16 electoral votes at stake in Michigan. In Wisconsin, almost half of the vote is in. Donald Trump is ahead there as well. He's ahead by almost 27,000 votes over Hillary Clinton, 48.3% to 46.5%, 10 electoral votes. 10 electoral votes in Wisconsin at stake. Let's go over to Jake. Jake, this is a moment that the markets are watching very closely right now, because few people thought Donald Trump would be doing as well at this stage as he's doing.
The markets don't like instability, and they also are unsure of what Donald Trump is going to do when it comes to trade. And we mentioned earlier that the Dow futures were down 500. Now they're down more than 600. But we should really just take a moment here and look at this. Pollsters predicted that Hillary Clinton was going to have not just a victory, but that she was going to win an electoral landslide. Not only is that not happening, it is entirely possible that Donald Trump is truly redrawing the map the way that he said he was going to. He was going to redraw the map from Wisconsin and Michigan to Ohio and Iowa, and winning over those white working class voters that feel the Democratic Party and Republican elites in Washington have ignored them for too long. Right now, he seems on his way to actually doing that. And in a word, it was Donald Trump versus almost all of the experts. And as of right now, it looks like Donald Trump was right.
Yeah, he's doing something amazing right now. As he himself said, he said, don't believe all those polls.
That's right. Let's just talk about the Midwest, upper Midwest, Michigan and Wisconsin. People initially thought when Donald Trump went into Michigan that it was a fool's errand, because it was such a safely blue state. Then the numbers started to shrink. I started to hear, I'm sure you do too, from Democrats. There you go. Look at Michigan right now. He's up. Donald Trump is up by 57,420 votes, with just 38% of the vote in. But still, this is a blue state. This is the state that the Clinton campaign should have had in the bank a long time ago. And this is the other thing that is really stunning to Democrats. Wisconsin, I think we can put that up there as well. Wisconsin is a state that has not gone Republican in decades. They didn't spend a lot of time there. Donald Trump did do some trips there, canceled one that he was supposed to do last week, but he did certainly more than Republicans thought that he should have. People thought he was frankly bananas to go to Wisconsin as much as he did. Clearly he wasn't. They knew that there was something possible to take there. He also has been traveling with the Republican National Committee chair, a Wisconsin native, who also knows the state. But these are part of the Democrats' reliably blue states. And Donald Trump, as you said so well, is re-scrambling the map clearly with disaffected voters who are so done with Washington, and people likely, we'll see when we get the exit polls, who really haven't been out for any candidate, much less a Republican, in years.
We've talked about this for the whole year. Donald Trump having one core message, which is Washington is not working for you. It's a cesspool. It's not protecting your jobs. It's not protecting you from terrorists. It's not protecting you when it comes to illegal immigration. It's not keeping the border safe. Now, there's a whole bunch of other stuff that's been wrapped around that core message. But apparent to millions and millions of Americans, that message was more important than all the other stuff wrapped around it, even when that other stuff was perceived to be very offensive to millions of others.
He clearly has energized a lot of voters out there that may not have necessarily have voted, but he got to them and he energized them. John, you're taking a much closer look at Michigan. Let's take a look at Michigan right now.
Taking a closer look at it and emailing people in both campaigns and people I know in these states who aren't affiliated, at least directly, not on the payrolls of any of these campaigns. The Democrats are obviously supporting Clinton. Most of the Republicans were backing Trump, although some of them are actually pretty agnostic about Trump when you think about it. So can she come back in Michigan is the question, right? We're at 38%, 49 to 46. We're looking at 20 plus 40, so about 60,000 votes, just shy of 60,000 votes. They're looking, can she come back in Michigan? The answer is yes, she can. Not that she will. The answer is yes, she can. You look at all this red and you think that's nuts. How is that possible? I just want to show you a couple things. Number one, you come down here, 3% of the state population. We're at 63% of the vote, so there's more votes to come here. This is the smaller basket of potential Democratic votes, but there are some votes here. The Clinton War Room says they're confident. The rest of this is overwhelmingly Democratic. We'll see if they're right. You come down here. We're going to come over here to Detroit, Wayne County. This is still a stunner to me that this is that close. It was much closer earlier on. You're looking at 61 to 35 there. You go back here, 73-26. That's where this has to end up for Hillary Clinton to win the state of Michigan. Can it? What the Clinton War Room says, and I just checked with a labor activist I know out here just to be sure that we're not getting spun too much, and he said he generally agrees that most of this vote is from the outer parts of Wayne County. You're in the more suburban parts out away, and that we have not gotten the large pocket votes that we will get from Detroit. So everyone says that's the case. If that's the case, there's a lot of math to be done when these votes come in, if they turned out. If. It's a big if. So when you start doing the math, is it possible? We're only at 40% of the state vote, 39% statewide, and she is down. Why don't you just pull a little bit closer there? Is that
about 60,000 votes?
60,000 votes. So are there 60,000 votes in Detroit alone? Are there 60,000 votes in Detroit alone? Of course there are. And so we have a ways to go. It is stunning that we're having this conversation based on how we thought this campaign was going to go, and it could be equally stunning if you're sitting at the Trump campaign or the Clinton campaign headquarters. You're looking at these two long, deep blue states, red right now. It is possible they could both turn as we count the votes. Remember what happened in Virginia. Donald Trump led it all night long. He led, and then the Democratic areas came in and it flipped. Is that possible in these states? Yes, it is. Guess what? That will decide the presidency, whether that happens or not. Because if you look at the way this map is filling in right now, yes, Florida's very close, but Trump's lead pretty healthy. You go down here and look at it. In Florida, the way
130,000.
Right, the way we've gotten used to Florida, the closest state in 2012, 50-49, when you're looking at 2 points, well, that's a little less than 2 points, I guess, but that's normal for Florida, and most people on the ground here, they're checking everywhere, trust me. They're checking everywhere, but even Republicans that don't like Trump in Florida think he's got this one. We'll see how it goes as we go forward. Let's check on North Carolina. That's a 3+ point lead there, 4-point lead, it's 4-point lead. As we get, we're at 90%, so you're starting to look, where are these votes? That's not good news for the Clinton campaign. When you look at North Carolina, 100% is in here. 77% here, but it's a much smaller piece of the population. But there are some Democratic votes still.